The United States was once the most influential and powerful country on earth. However, that is no longer the case. We are watching to most of us feeling dismayed, disappointed, and sometimes even angry at what's happening in the United States, not just because of the craziness of Donald Trump, but because of the impact that it has on everyday people. Those people, in fact, who didn't vote for Trump. Those people that did vote for Trump, I don't give a damn about. They have got what they deserved. And as your Medicare system is eradicated, as you have got an increasing inflation rate, as you are unable to buy goods at a reasonable price, you will feel the impact of what it meant for you to vote for Donald Trump. There is no sympathy from me whatsoever for the fact that you have let your own country down, that you have decided that a psychopathic, narcissistic child has been given the power that he has to do the things that he is now doing, and that he has acquiesced most of the control to an oligarch, a billionaire who has no concept of government, who doesn't understand what it means to be in government, who is erratic, who is simply after as much power as he can muster. And so, for me, there is no excuse. I don't understand why it is that you're doing what you're doing, but I do have a sense as to, I guess, some of the motivation that has caused you to elect Donald Trump. Now, to be fair, which is difficult under these circumstances, but I understand what it means to feel that you're disadvantaged, that governments don't work for you, that in fact many of the people that represent you in government are corrupt. And I think to some extent there is an element of truth in that, as there is an element of truth in all conspiracy theories, I guess. But the primary one is that we do not trust, we do not respect, we do not believe in those people that are elected to govern us. So the alternative, it seemed to be, for those people in the United States was to turn the system upside down, to get rid of what they see as a corrupt government. But in doing so, you have elected an even more corrupt government. You have given way to fascism, to autocracy. You've given up any power or authority that you had to somebody who's going to rip you of all the authority that you might have thought that you had, but now have none. And this is sad. To think that in the United States, a country which certainly exerted a lot of power, that power has diminished, that the rest of the world is laughing at you, that we think of you as a laughing stock. We are dismayed by your behaviour. We are disappointed in the way that you are behaving. And we are feeling sorry for those people who have to suffer under this oligarchical regime. So, what is it can you do about it? That is the most important question that one can ask. The rest of the world can't do much, except perhaps find ways to push back against you. Here in Australia, we have just decided to give you $800 million for submarines, which will not be delivered for another 10 to 15 years. We have decided that it is in our best interest to pay you for something which you have not yet delivered. Now, that for Donald Trump would be a big plus. We're not going to lose his support based on that. That is for sure. Because any government that provides funds for the United States, that seems to be working in the United States' interest according to Donald Trump's playbook, will be rewarded. But there will come a time where we will not be able to stand for anything that Trump is doing. That we will not be able to support some of his crazy ideas. In Australia, we haven't got the guts or the balls to be able to say what we really think of Donald Trump. We are not going to support the United States at the end of the day, but right now it is in our best interest, it seems, to say nothing, to do nothing, to offer no criticism whatsoever around who Donald Trump is. The only people who are able to do that are people who belong to minor parties here in Australia, particularly the Greens, who have certainly come out and talked about the bastardisation that is the United States as a result of Donald Trump being your president. So we will not push back. But there will come a time when we will have to. There is no doubt in my mind that at some particular point, we are going to contravene some of the so-called principles that Donald Trump holds, particularly those relating to his own sense of narcissism. So any criticism that we will offer of him will be met with rebuke. There's no disputing that whatsoever. That time will come. But in the meantime, what are you in the United States going to do about this? You're going to do nothing. You're going to sit back with a fetless Democrats who are prepared to stand up in front of certain institutions such as USAID and object to what is being done. Or you stand up in front of the Treasury building and you scream and shout that what Trump's doing is wrong. But at the end of the day, you're not changing anything. You're not rallying people behind your cause. And this won't happen until such time as the American people start to specifically notice the cruelty that is Donald Trump. And I fail to understand how anybody could support the degree of inhumanity that this man displays. That there must be some people in the United States who are saying enough is enough. Why is it that you can't muster a rally of 1 million people and march down the streets? Not to riot, but certainly just to protest about what this man is doing. If we're not careful, if you're not careful, the day is going to come when you've passed the line, when there will be no returning back to a government that has any sense of fiscal responsibility or certainly a sense of responsibility for the public. Certainly, you will be passing a date in which you can return because it will be too difficult to turn around. In the meantime, Musk has got control of the Treasury. Musk has got control of every facet of the United States. That he has access to data which most people would see as corrupt in itself, not to mention the fact that Musk has no clearances, that he is not permitted, or should not be permitted at least, to be able to access the data that he and his minions are accessing. That there's this effort, there's this distinct effort to get rid of equity and fairness in the United States. And what does it say about the United States if that becomes a priority? To take away from people the things that they believe in relation to particularly helping those people of diverse backgrounds. Helping the minorities in the United States has now become a thing of the past. If you're of a different color to white, you will be denigrated, you will be put down, you will be placed on the scrap heap. You will not be able to return to the positions that you had before because the eradication of DEI means the eradication of you. You are insignificant. You are meaningless to this particular administration. You are to be destroyed. That's really where Donald Trump's coming from, and that's what the path that Musk is taking him also. That you have been able to allow, acquiesce, give in to the oligarchs of your country is appalling. That you will become more and more like Russia over time. You will never be able to return back to the more equitable and fair society that you once were. That your impact in the world will diminish. That things like the USAID programs will no longer exist. Thousands of people will die as a result. So somebody at some point has to decide to take responsibility for any of this. The question is, when will that be? Will it be you? And how will you go about it? Now, there are many people on my channel who will object greatly to what I'm saying, but mark my words, there will come a time when you will have to take responsibility, when you'll have to swallow your pride and decide that you're going to support fairness, equity, and what stands as the betterment for humankind, not what is in the best interest of people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. But please, remember this, that if you take no action, if you sit back and simply wait to see what happens, you may discover that one day you'll wake up and find someone knocking on your door, limiting your access to the services that you require, or choosing to lock you or your family up for simply objecting to what is happening in the US. That time is close. You're about to experience it. So, do something about it now, before it is too late. Take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.